Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan
Hello.
and Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
This week, we watched a film called The Harvester. So it's written and directed by Andrew Zane Allen and Gavin Bradley. It's described as in a desolate wasteland, a reclusive prospector uncovers a massive deposit of a rare substance. His only companion, a strange organism enslaved to filter the liquid, begins to resist the process, forcing him to reconsider his livelihood as he fights to protect his find against brutal marauders stalking him across an apocalyptic landscape. That description makes it sound so much cooler of a movie than it actually is. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just like that description is like, I don't think it's a good description of the film. It opens up with this really cool wide shot of this prospector and where he is, he's in like kind of like flat, muddy, snowy, cold wasteland, and there's all these trees that have been chopped down. So you see all these tree stumps in this muddy plain. And what's funny about it, as soon as I saw that, I thought it was filmed outside of Seattle. There's this little area, it's a man-made lake that they had chopped down a bunch of trees, and it looks exactly like this. But I looked it up; it was filmed in Oregon, not far from Seattle, so must be another. And that's also why it looks so northwesterly with the mountains and stuff. But anyway, so this guy's walking up and he looks like a Tusken Raider from Star Wars. If anybody knows the Tusken Raiders, he's dressed exactly like one. And he gets this liquidy stuff and he goes back to his cave where he then is like kind of all naked. You don't really see much. Well, you see his butt, and he's all kind of scarred up and beat up. And he pulls this little creature out and pumps the liquid into the creature and then squeezes the creature that pees out this like refined version of the liquid, which I'm guessing is some kind of a drug by the way they treat it. And it's all shot. So you have that wide shot, but then beyond that, everything's extremely close up. Like we never actually see his full face. We see his eyes, we see like his lips, we see a tight shot of the creature, we see the stuff being filtered, and it's just kind of got this whole creepy vibe throughout. Yeah, so I guess the enslaved creature, yeah, you could tell the creature's like, no, this sucks. So you felt bad for the creature. And then I guess at some point he's like trying to make the creature do more. And he has this kind of moment where he's like, oh, poor little creature. Um, but then like, yeah, he leaves the cave again to either go get more of the stuff or go sell the stuff that he's already refined. And he gets attacked by these guys and, whatever. That's pretty much the movie. There's no talking or anything like that. It's all just sound effects of the movements and the music and that kind of stuff, and then the squeaky creature thing. What I think they do a good job with the art design and the look and the props and like that whole thing of it. Story wise, I kind of felt the description, like I said, sounds much cooler than the actual film itself, considering that it's like a 20-minute long film.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one thing I think it there's not much of a story here. You kind of have to make up your own mind what this creature is and what he's doing. But it's all about the visuals, isn't it? It's all about the cinematography and the atmosphere. And I don't think he doesn't speak in it. I don't think at all. And yeah, there is no real story as such. And I wouldn't be mad into sci-fi. I'm not. I went through a small phase of liking sci-fi stuff, but I wouldn't be mad into it. So yeah, it's a fairly long film. It probably could have been done in half the time, but it is beautifully shot and very atmospheric and really well done for a sci-fi short. It just lacks in story for me.
You like the X-Files, Claire, didn't you?
I do, yeah, I do. And there's a little bit of point, like, yeah, X-Files always had a story, though. I think, like, there is always like a good, yeah, story in X-Files, as well as this. Like, this would be a small scene from X-Files, but there'd be a story around it,
Yeah,
and
at
then to
least
find
the
out,
X-Files would have
right?
more of a story to it, probably. Yeah.
There would be like this is like an excerpt of an X-Files, but there would be a story to explain what this creature is doing, and
Yeah, this would
you
be
know,
like the intro section before they introduce like
yes,
Mulder and Scully setting it
yes,
up, and then then Mulder and Scully have to come investigate and find out what's going on.
Actually, that's what it is. It's like the pre-credit scene in an
Hmm.
X-Files episode, and
Yep.
then it goes into the story. So I just felt, just for me, I couldn't really get into it as much because there's not much of a story there, but it's like it's setting up something to
Hmm.
be maybe a film or a longer series, possibly.
I think it's there's this subgenre of dystopian sci-fis
Mm.
where they create this world and have a very, very, very meager sort of plot, and yeah, create this great atmosphere and visuals and everything like that. But they don't tell you what the hell it's about. They give very little clues, and then at the end of it, they don't tell you. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they have this. They go on a 6 day to drug and alcohol field binge, and they come up with the story, and they put it down in a film, and then, oh my god, what is all that about? And then yeah, and then they like in the comments under the video, the two guys responded, okay, thanks very much. You know, we're really enjoying all the comments. Like, I will answer. We'll answer what we can, but we're not going to tell you the plot. No, no, no.
Oh,
Never
okay.
good. Like,
We're not going to give anything away because we
Mm.
don't want to. Yeah, I feel like they're big fans of like David Lynch, and they're like, what if David Lynch made a sci-fi film that wasn't Dune? But David Lynch was a great filmmaker, to whereas these guys are like, kind of, we have this idea that we can't map out. But yeah, I love that you mentioned the comment because like some of the comments are so funny. There's like, one of them is like, I think the moral of the story is to treat your weird mutant grub right, and they will always have, it's like some of the
Yes.
comments are pretty funny.
and it looked like Alien, didn't it? So, like, I
Yeah.
remember when it jumped out of when it comes out of the man's stomach first of all and rolls off. That's what it kind of
Yeah.
looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got some Alien, you got some Star Wars, you got some, yeah, dystopian thing. Like why can they not breathe the atmosphere? Like obviously there's trees and
Mm.
everything around, so there's
Mm.
oxygen in the air. Like, and he can breathe for a while when his mask is off. And he's obviously breathing in the cave, which what is that, some like separate environment in some way? Like, yeah, I don't
You
know.
know, questions you have to ask them. You know,
Yeah, but they
well,
won't answer. They don't want to give anything away
Mm.
because they're too creative with their
Mm.
brilliance.
So I wonder, like, do you know the way if these filmmakers came from a writing background, they probably didn't. We can tell. Do you know the way some filmmakers come through a certain route? I suppose, like
Yeah.
if you come from an acting writing background, you probably wouldn't make a film like this without a plot because you're very aware of writing. But you can tell they came from a cinematography possibly background, maybe an arts directing background, and that's how they're approaching it. Because I don't think a writing person with a writing background would create a film without that's so plotless, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a totally good point. You're
Mm,
right. This is like people with a cinematography background
yeah.
because they could like, I can visualize everything. I
Mm,
can't, there's not, forget the story. It's all about the look.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Which is really good, and it serves its purpose, and it's done so well. Yeah, but just we might want to just a little bit more, a little bit. I love those things that give you that you make up your own mind, but sometimes they it's so plotless that you have to use all your imagination, and there's kind of a tipping point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like if this was the beginning of something like
yeah,
a
brilliant.
hour long, you know, I say you'd stay with it for a while at
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
You know, going. So from that point of view, it does work, and you could see this as a bit of a proof of concept for something bigger.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that it possibly, yeah, and it would actually would be very good proof of concept for a kind of a longer film or longer series, just establish the world. But the character, there's no character there really. Yeah, or any characters. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, it's a great
Mm,
estate. Like we're saying,
mm,
like it's a good setup. It's an intro to a film, which you're right, Cathal, it would keep you watching because you're like, okay, what's
yeah.
going to happen here? It looks good, sounds
Mm,
good. Let's learn about this person. Why are they here? Like, what's this little weird alien thing that filters
mm,
whatever it is?
And why did those guys run off when they did? Like, looked like they were going to kill him, and
Yeah.
then something when they ran off. Like, why? I mean, they could have just killed him, ran off. You know, that's what I mean. Janie.
Hmm.
Uh,
Got to leave him for the rest of the film. so he can
Yeah.
get his revenge. I don't know.
Mm.
Whatever, guys.
Mm.
All right. Well, you guys want to rate it?
Yeah, go call. Yeah.
I'll go for it. Well, you know, it was like you said. You made all the points about how well it was made and shot, and the atmosphere and the landscape and the mystery. Uh, I I'm not going to give it full marks because uh, I think it doesn't deserve it, you know, because I think you think you need a story, you need some sort of plot, you need a big beginning, middle, and end. Uh, so I'll give it 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah, for me, especially coming from a writing perspective, there is no writing really as such. There is no character there, and there's no story arc really. It's just given too much for the audience to make up what the story is. But it's really well done for sci-fi. Great cinematography and the atmosphere. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I agree with you guys as well. There's not too much to add to that. Bit lacking in story, but looks great. Great. Like they're obviously very clearly, skilled filmmakers, but it just didn't, stick with me in a way that I like. So, gosh, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with you, Claire. I'm gonna go 3.5 stars. Uh, yeah, yeah. So I'll leave it at that. Well, audience, you can check it out. It is called The Harvester. You can let us know what you think. We're on social media at No Budget Show. This time I'm going to leave you with a message, and that is always treat your weird mutant grub right. Valuable lessons in life. Goodbye.
Bye.
Right.